My dad came to this country with about $2,000 to his name from the Czech Republic. He was an immigrant running away from communism. And when they first came here, my mom and dad worked their fingers to the bone. My dad welded during the day, and my mom washed dishes in a restaurant. And at night, they would clean offices. Eventually, they scraped up enough money to build a small Czech restaurant in the Chicago area. And eventually, they built a very big Czech restaurant. And when my dad became successful, this is how he rewarded himself. It's a 1978 Lincoln Continental Mark V Diamond Jubilee Edition. And it's special because it's a car that my dad passed on to me before he died. And it's a car that I'm going to give to my son. But, as you can tell, it's a diamond in the rough in this kind of ratty storage yard. So on today's very special episode of the Fast Lane Car, with the help of my friend Ted X, we're going to try to take this diamond in the rough and make it run. Coming up next on the Fast Lane Car. Alright, here's the crazy part. Ted has been a mechanic his whole life, and he mainly works on old British cars, but he likes, well, there you have it, French cars, specifically the DS. And I figure that anybody who can make one of these things run with its crazy suspension and all the intricate bits that it takes to make this thing work can certainly make that car run.
It's like a rolling resume.
I know. I mean, you know. Yeah, exactly. How could you have anything more that tells you about the skill level that you have than you arrive in a working DS Safari?
That's how I justify it to myself. Yeah.
All right, Ted. Here we go. Behold the beauty that is.
Wow.
Wow. That is
the Florida plates look right at home.
Yeah, that is the classic American luxury car.
I have a soft spot for this car because my friend's dad styled it. He did this in the German Ford Taunus of the late 60s.
Really?
And the rear bumper of the Ford Mustang, the 64 Ford Mustang. Yeah, so yeah,
the cool thing about this, of course, is the retro vestigial.
The Continental kit that would in no way accommodate the lower half of the tire. Yeah, even as a kid, I always thought that was funny.
Yeah, and of course the vinyl top, which is no longer vinyl. But come and look at the
This
inside.
is cooler than I expected. It's pretty.
Come and look at the inside. This car has, I think it's just over 20,000 miles on it. So
yeah, kind of.
It's just been sitting here for 2
Heavy
months.
patina. It's all, wow.
Now look at the inside.
Wow.
It's brand new inside.
How did the inside survive like this?
Isn't it incredible?
I'm afraid to touch it. Yeah.
And the really cool part about this is it's got one of the only quadrophonic stereo systems. Not two, but four. That means that each speaker plays its own bit of music.
And in the middle of your Willie Nelson soundtrack, it'll pause right in the middle of a song to roll over to the next track.
I gotta show you. You know how Rolls Royces have something that makes them unique, and that is that there's an umbrella in the door right there.
I forgot about that actually. Yeah.
Well, Lincoln wasn't
Not to be outdone.
It also came with its own umbrella. Not in the door this time. So there were some.
This car's stock is going up. Yeah. I gotta say, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, and then look, the best of Ella, quadrophonic 8-track cassettes.
Now that was old when the car was new.
That was old.
Mean, yeah.
And the great thing about these for all you youngsters was that you could, pick any of 4 places to listen to the songs on there.
Track 1, track. Yeah. This is also, if you were in radio in the old days, this was the commercial. You'd stick it in, you'd hit your button, and there's your 30 seconds. Then you'd cue up a record. Yeah.
Should I open up the money shot, so to speak?
I'm looking at the money shot.
Oh, let me open it up here. Hold on. Where is
this part's gonna look like my Monday, isn't it?
Go for it. Open it up. See if we can make this thing run.
Is this But it's just to test my ability to actually find the little safety thing under the hood.
Yeah, it's under there. I think it may be underneath. I think you have to go down. Could be wrong. It may go this way. No, come on this way. Hold on. Yeah, here it is. Try it now.
I knew that. Just testing it.
So there we go.
It has all the leaves you could ever need, but it looks better than, it looks like if you hosed it down, it would look nice under here still.
Yeah, so I would say about 9 years ago, we parked it here, turned off the ignition, and walked away from it. And that's where it's been sitting ever since.
But it moved into place under its own power?
Yeah, and 22,000 miles, everything was working on it. Air conditioning, transmission, everything. So the question is, can we get her started? What do you think?
Who are we?
Can you get her started? I'm sorry.
No, I'm thinking of, the nearest repair garage.
Get the tow it to that.
We have to try it. It would be criminal not to try it, right? Okay. And I know you got a battery.
We're gonna have to go get a battery.
Okay.
So that's our first assignment. We gotta go get a battery.
All right, gonna have all the options in the world. What kind of quality or performance are we looking for out of this battery?
We just want something basic, because we're just trying to get the car going. So,
starting in the basic world.
Yeah.
Let me see what the OE group size was.
Okay. We're just trying to get it to crank right now. We don't want it to last forever.
Well, I'm gonna have one that they'll call it the Autocraft Automotive. It's a 1-year replacement.
Yep.
91.99.
Perfect. Let's go with that one.
Okay, let me grab it for you.
Thank you.
So
That looks much smaller. Does it matter the size?
Basically, this is gonna just have an adapter that's gonna fit most applications, so you can get it started.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Is that cool, Ted?
That gives us the flexibility of flopping around for battery cables and stuff. So yeah.
All right, thumbs up from Ted. We're good.
And it might work anyway.
All right, Ted. People might be wondering, what kind of a car is this? It's obviously Citroën, which is French. And I said it was a Safari. What is it?
It's a Citroën Safari. You did good, Roman. You should do car stuff.
I should do car stuff. What year is it, and what does Safari mean?
I don't know why I don't know if it's Safari as in you're on Safari and carrying all your gear and,
so it's a
and
station
all that,
wagon.
but it's a station wagon. Yeah, the English would have called it a brake, I guess, or a shooting brake or something. I'm not sure, but.
And people hate when we sit on cars, but this kind of fake patina that you've put on it comes out of a spray can. So don't get your undies in a bundle, guys.
Right, yes. This is...
a driver.
This can be touched up at will. Yeah.
Why Citroëns? I mean, such a crazy, crazy car for America.
You know what? When I was a kid, my dad wanted one real bad. And our whole family, with me leading the charge, said, "Dad, no, they're so ugly. We don't want to be picked up in school, in a horrible car like that." And so I never got one, or we never got one. And I was a British car fan. I wanted an English car, and of course my dad hated those. And so I got my first car. It was an Alpine, and I still have it. And I would always work to keep it going. So I got interested in mechanics and how things work. And then I remembered those horrible French cars that my dad wanted, and they went up and down. And I thought, if British cars are bad, one of those must be even worse. I will master it.
And you have. Congratulations.
But there's nothing to it. They're great cars. I got my first one, and I never had to fix it.
So if you're looking for a great Citroën mechanic, don't call Ted. I think he's got plenty of work on old Lincoln Continentals.
If we were being a little more professional instead of rushing it, we'd be cleaning battery cable ends and, while it's in your hand, make it right, blah, blah, blah. But I'm calling this field expediency. And, we'll just stick it together like hacks and see how it goes.
In 1978, when my dad purchased his car new, it cost $17,555. In today's money, that's about $60,000. And at the time, it was the most expensive American production car you could buy. But you know what? This isn't about money. It's about when I get behind the steering wheel and sit down, I can't help but feel the spirit of my dad riding shotgun. It reminds me of the good times before he got sick. when he was healthy, and when he was successful. Yeah, so I looked at the values of these on Craigslist, and they built a lot of them. Of course, this is a Diamond Jubilee Edition, and what makes it special, Ted? You know what makes it special? Diamond Jubilee
got
Edition.
nothing.
There's a little diamond, I'm not joking, there's a little diamond in the rear opera window in the back. Yeah, go check it out. Go see it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, right there, little diamond. Now, whether that diamond is real or not,
I say this was your dad's car or your grandma's car.
my dad's car.
Just checking. Okay.
Now, whether that diamond is real or not, well, I suspect it's not real. But like I was saying, the values of these things are anywhere from a runner $3,000 all the way up to maybe $10,000, $15,000. The Diamond Jubilee Edition came in only two colors: Jubilee kind of baby blue and Jubilee gold. And this, of course, is the baby blue color. It had every single option available, and it had the big engine, which is the 460, I want to say?
460, that's what it was at the auto parts store.
Yeah, 460.
Because I was like, cool, it's the big one. Yeah, that's
But,
neat.
which puts out like 110 horsepower.
But it's tree stump pulling torque.
That's right.
I assume.
Before we crank it, what do we have to do besides connecting these grounds and such?
If we're actually hoping to hear it run.
Yeah, you gotta run. It's gotta run.
Okay, now, you know that starter fluid that everybody uses?
Yeah.
Carb cleaner works better and it's not as hard on the engine.
We didn't
And
buy
I
it.
brought some.
Oh, you brought some?
No,
Okay.
I was using my noggin on one thing and that was it.
All right.
So we could crank it and just shoot some carb cleaner down there so that you could hear it go and rattle for a minute. Or we could take the high road and get the compressed air out and find the fuel pump and backflow through the lines and see if we actually have a shot at drawing anything soupy from the gas tank.
I'll leave it to you. What do you suggest?
I'm lazy and it's more dramatic just to hear it run.
All right,
So
done.
we'll do that. I
We'll do that.
don't think any harm will come of it.
And
so.
this is a multi-part special, so we've got plenty of episodes before this thing actually hits the road, if it ever hits the road. You ready? Here we go.
Yes, sir. Okay, now hold it to the floor.
It's not doing anything.
Ah,
It's not doing anything.
nothing, huh?
Nothing.
Yeah, this is just to see if the key's feeding the solenoid. Go ahead. Yeah, that end of it's working, so it's not the alarm. Really, at the moment, we're just wishing we had a solenoid.
What's the next step?
I say we bypass the solenoid. I'll just short the thing out and crank it over with a screwdriver, and we'll go back to the plan. I'll start it with a screwdriver. You have to key on so the ignition will feed it.
Okay.
And I'll short out the solenoid with a screwdriver and spray some carb cleaner in the carburetor, and we'll see who's home.
All right, let's try that.
Maybe a set of channel locks because I like my screwdrivers too much. Are we ready? It's kind of a long shot.
Here we go.
Yep, turn the key on. You don't have to crank. All you have to do is just have the ignition on.
Keys on.
And your foot to the floor.
Yep.
And still in park.
Yep.
Keep flooring it. Whoop.
That's as good as it could
We
get.
almost had a barbecue, but at least we have a nice pit for it.
All right.
We'll do the next one at night.
Should we try one more time?
Oh, of course.
All right, we'll do
Yeah.
it. All right.
So this really is, under the heading of "Don't try this at home." We have kind of bypassed every smart safety, everything. Now, did you let your foot off at any time?
No, I had it floored.
Okay, this thing was open, which worked out great, and then it decided to close itself.
All right, let me try it again.
That said, it probably closed itself because with your foot on the floor, it set the choke. Like it was still stuck open because the car was warm when it was parked.
Right.
This is my limited understanding of American, carburetors, but and it may be completely wrong. But I believe it. It's set open once it warms up, and then as soon as you step on the gas, it defaults to the choke position when everything's cooled off. So it would be nice if actually we could just sort of jam this open.
Well, why don't we?
No reason comes to mind.
Yeah. Let's jam it open.
We'll just put some more tools down there, then we'll get sucked into the engine. That's dramatic. All big ones I don't really have a soft spot for.
All right, well, we don't want to suck a screwdriver into the engine. That would always be bad. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe we can catch that on fire.
All right. So
okay,
I'm gonna put the ignition on, and you go. I'll floor it.
Yep, and just again hold it floored, and
Here we go. Attempt number 2.
there's really no reason to think it's not going to catch fire this time either.
Okay.
Are we ready?
All right, Ted. I think
It is safe to say we have spark.
we have spark. I think it started.
Yes.
So I think the next step would be to
Do it
actually
right.
do it right. Yeah. Before we start the whole car on fire.
That makes a reasonable amount of sense.
There's
If we
nothing
were
in the
gonna run
reserve.
for any length of time, we would certainly do that. And that's another kind of cavalier attitude I have that may
Come to death to bite us.
opinions may vary, but
Move slowly. I can't even open it.
you know, if I were at the shop doing this, it'd be much more methodical, because what I'll do is I'll usually prolong the disappointment and do every little thing to give it every chance of cranking on the first try, and you know, and firing, and you know, just almost so that you can show off to your friends, right? Or your fellow workers, where the second you crank it, it's not only running, you're driving down the road.
Ted, I'm impressed with your magic French hands. Or British hands, whatever. You got the thing to crank. So is that a good sign?
Oh yeah, crank versus not crank, that is a good sign, yes.
All right, so the question, of course, is what do we need to get it running on its own? We need a new solenoid.
Yeah, a solenoid so that I don't have to hold it with channel locks, for sure.
And then the fuel lines, right? We don't know if they're all varnished up.
It is, there's always a lot of anxiety about the fuel lines, especially on this, because I don't know where they go, and sometimes you have to roto-root them out with carb cleaner and an old speedometer cable, and it can be a nightmare. Or you can get lucky. I mean, like I was saying earlier, sometimes you get luckier with the super old gas than with the moderately old gas that's available now. So it'd be neat if we got lucky. We'll see.
All right, we'll find out next time on the Fast Lane Car. Thanks for watching Diamond in the Rough. And next time, me and Ted are going to try to get this bad boy old car to actually run on its own. Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be awesome. I'm gonna have car envy if it does.
As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Car. See you next time.
Okay, go ahead and floor it. I wasn't smart enough to bring a flashlight. Off, on again, off, on again. Okay, I'm saying nothing. You know, I'm going to use the air and see if I can just blow past the float needle and open that up, and then maybe we'll actually get some. No, it's, I could see it. Usually you can hear a little, you know, and I didn't hear it.